Welcome to Tech Talk Friday, and I'm here with Karam again. And one of the things, Karam, that's very interesting is that there are a number of companies there are a lot of companies doing CSR and giving back. But there's not many companies that when they actually give back, they actually get back in return. And I think one thing that you wrote about was this company Aerodyne, and we've talked about Aerodyne and Kamarul and the guys before a number of times. And one of the things that you mentioned in your article, I think is very interesting, is that they started to do some drone activities here in Malaysia. Maybe you can elaborate a little bit on that. But what happened is now that model is being replicated in other countries, but this time as a paid service. So, in some extent, it's when you give, you can get back too. Reminds me of a book by Adam Grant who wrote Give and Take, right? So sometimes the more you give, the more you get, right? Talk us through the story with Aerodyne and how, helping the Malaysian government has resulted in a new revenue stream for them.
Yeah. So basically, Kamarul was telling me that so what happened was that they were one of their projects in Malaysia got deferred because of MCO, right? And so they had their teams deployed to do that. That was a paid basis thing. But when MCO happened, the client said, let's hold off on it. And almost like simultaneously, the police reached out to them and said, look, MCO is happening. We want to monitor for compliance. And as we all know, it's way easier to monitor something if you've got eye in the sky, right? And instead of a helicopter, if an eye in the sky now is drone, the teams will follow the police out into the field, yeah? So they're really frontliners. So Kamarul said he had a town hall virtual with his teams and said, look guys, you'll be going out with the police. And these are 14-hour shifts, 8 a.m. in the morning till 10 p.m. at night. And if any of you don't want to, I'll understand, but nobody said they didn't want to do this. So right now, he's got 23 teams out all over the country and not just Klang Valley. They go to the police station and they follow the police teams out there in a particular location. It's a two-man team. And then one person is controlling the drone and the police will tell them where to go. And the drones are recording, and some are recorded in real time and some are kept in storage. And then when they come down, it's downloaded and it's sent back to the IPT, means the police district headquarters.
So essentially, just to recap, so basically the police, this service that we were offering initially as a CSR in Malaysia, kind of got replicated to India and some of these other countries, essentially as a big service to enable countries to have compliance.
Your police teams are not going on motorbike outside or trying to, or in the case of the India police, maybe cycling around. No, but it's not just India. India has confirmed the sale. Indonesia and the US were doing pilots, and I think actually if I contact him tonight, they'll probably can update whether those turned into paid services. But the interesting thing is not just the teams out there. So it's got 23 teams all over the country. They built a dashboard. The key is the software. So there's a dashboard, but the district police can only see, like the PJ police can only see what's going on in PJ. And they have an API linking Ministry of Health data to show how many cases happen and when the team goes out, they're kind of like monitoring those areas. So you're not doing it blindly. But of course, in Bukit Aman, they've got a whole dashboard. They can see the whole country, what's going on where.
Okay, it's a great story. And what about our other entrepreneurs? How can we also learn from this and potentially figure out how we can replicate some of the services that we do here, or some of the things that we do here potentially could be monetization opportunities outside in other countries, right? So what are some lessons learned that we can share from this insight that you got from Aerodyne?
So with Aerodyne, because it's a global company, you don't have to be global. You could be operating in 2 countries only, right? And this is your home base. You've got the stronger networks and relationships here. Don't think, can you afford to pay me, right? Partner with people and say, let's make this work for you. Because for Kamarul, his time cost for the team is over $1.5 million ringgit already. Can you imagine that? He's not charging the government, but lucky he's able to monetize it from elsewhere. So don't think of what's in it for me, right? And even if you don't have a operation outside of the country, even in the country, just deepen your relationship with your existing ecosystem of suppliers, partners, customers, right? Like me, I DNA just moderation, charge for moderation. I've been doing some moderation the past 2 weeks and I don't charge because I know it's not for people, right? You're just cementing the relationship and they say, hey, okay, Karan can also moderate on webinars, not so bad. It doesn't have to be just physically on stage.
I think this is going to be a defining time of where the give and take model really takes off to some extent. So, I think it's very good. It's great, it's great to have a story like this because it tells you that the possibilities are there. And this is actually
Yeah.
proven, in the sense that people always say that, I give, but I don't get anything. And I think, I don't know if you read the book by Adam Grant, you can give, but you give because you want back, right? I give as much as I can get, and those that give, there's two types of givers. The givers that give but don't get anything in return, and the ones that give
Okay.
actually get stuff in return. And he said you want it to be the second kind of giver. Ultimately, it's not being stupid. It's also looking at it opportunistically, and I think that's kind of what the Aerodyne guys have done. I mean, they've already had it.
Yeah.
They already had the resources on the ground. Why not help?
Yeah.
In the process, I just proved to you a case study of working with the police, which can be replicated, somewhere else. And likewise,
Very.
sometimes our customers that may not pay us as much, but it gives us a good case study and a good blueprint
Yeah.
to enable us to take our product and service and say, look, we've prototyped it
Yeah.
with the Malaysian police.
Yes.
Why can't it work with the Indian police and the US police and likewise? Final thoughts for today, Karam?
I think the word selflessness comes to mind. I think as entrepreneurs, you have to bring forth the selflessness, right, above the commercial hunger that you have. You've got to try to just hang in the game. If cash flow is really tight, and at some point, I think you'll come back to you if you don't expect it to come back. Just want to reach a hand out, just put a hand out, and that's my hand. Okay, got to put a hand out, and hey, reach my hand, and let's help each other.
Karam's long hand over there. Right? So
Yeah.
that's a wrap for today. Thank you. That's this Tech Talk Friday for you this week. Look forward to next week, and we'll have more exciting Tech Talks for you here virtually, and we'll probably continue virtually for a while now. Right. So see you. Have a great week.
Yeah.
All right.
If you're having a staff going to work, make sure it's only half of them, okay? You all know what to do.